So lift and roll the shoulders. Stand up straight, lift your toes and then place them back down again. Turn your head to the left and then turn your head to the right. And then come back to the centre. And then breathing in, soften the knees, stretch up, clasp and reverse the hands. Lateral, come to one side, come to the centre, tummy in, and then lateral to the other side. Come to the centre. Turn slightly to one side, come to the centre and turn slightly to the other side. Come to the centre. Stretch up and look up if that is good for your neck. And almost bring your hands slightly, not behind you, but really behind. And bring your head to the centre. Test your balance by lifting up your heels. Well done. And then very gently lower the heels. Lower the arms to shoulder height. Turn to look beyond the fingers of one hand. Centre the head and turn to look beyond the fingers of the other hand. Centre the head, lower the arms. Lift and roll the shoulders and clasp behind you, opening the shoulders and opening the lung meridians. Just enjoy that stretch. And then release the hands. Slide the hands down, half lift to the shins. Lift from the tailbone to the top of the head. Breathing out, soften in. Lift from the tailbone to the top of the head. Engage the perineum, tummy in. Stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, press the feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Lift and roll the shoulders. Raise the hands up. Stretch the fingers. So the thumbs go behind you, little fingers in front. And then just release and circle the wrists down. Lift and roll the shoulders. Stepping out, just swaying from side to side. And then, having stretched out a little bit, we're going to come to standstill, to centre, hands together at the heart centre, and then we're going to come to sitting. Do either of you need a block?
No, it's okay. All right.
So coming to sitting in a cross-legged position, but if that's not good for you, then come to sit, however works for you. And for me, I'm actually going to sit on a block, just for these few. So there's just a moment while someone's getting a block or a cushion or a pillow.
Or is there a block in it?
An actual block? Yeah. And while we're waiting for the blocks to arrive, the 5 Buddhas are the 5 energies that run throughout the body when we go from side to side. And the energies are Dana energy at the throat, Prana, or Prana Vayus they call it, pervading, connecting to the energy that connects to our breath. And then Samana is at the navel area. It's like our digestive energy, how we transform things in not just food, but how we transform our experiences. And then Apana Vayu is from the base, all the downward energy, our elimination energy, how we get rid of stuff. And then Vyana energy is all pervading, particularly around the joints. So this practice goes through all 5 energies quite quickly, and then it does, again, a mini summary of 5 energies, and then you go through each one. So this is a modified version because the full thing's quite long. So we're starting with the throat, the neck energy, the Udana energy, and being comfortable, just turn the head to the left
And then turn the head to the right. And then come back to the centre. And then drop the chin to the chest and roll your chin, roll yourself up to look over your right shoulder. And then when you're ready, drop your chin to your chest and roll to look over your left shoulder. And just repeat that a couple of times. Roll your chin to your chest. And then to support yourself as you bring your head up, just place a hand on your chest and think of yourself as a cobra, like a snake, as it rears its head back upright in a very kingly fashion. And then very, very gently, chin to chest slightly and tilt your head over to the left. You can stay like this. You can have your right arm out to the right, which will give a stretch here. And optionally and additionally, you could bring your left hand up and just let your fingers connect to your head to increase the stretch. And then very gently release and bring the head upright. And then come, of course, to the other side, chin to the chest, slightly. Let your right ear drop towards your right shoulder. Your left hand can go out to the side. And as an option, you can bring your right fingertips to just above your ear. And then very gently come to upright. Lift and roll both shoulders backwards a few times. And then forwards. And then alternate shoulders backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards. And then both together and lift and drop. So that's the neck, that's the Udana throat energy. And that connects into speaking our truth. What we say doesn't necessarily resonate with what we want to do. And often that can cause stiffness at this level. So we come on to the next energy, which is the prana value. And prana is the energy that connects with our breath. It's our all body energy. And then again, this is quite interesting. They call it Mandala of War. So you make fists. I've got my thumbs out. And you just roll the fists in one direction. And then roll the fists in the other direction. And then just breathe in, and as you breathe out, either through your mouth or through your nose, you punch your fists away from you, so and then circle the wrists a few times in one direction. And circle again, and when you're ready, you'll feel your tummy muscles engage, and this war aspect, mandala of war, is because your core in ancient times had to be strong to fight the enemy, whether it was disease or your actual enemy. And then release, lift and roll the shoulders. Make those fists again, and this is called crow's flight. Just connect them to the tops of the shoulders, and breathing in, lift the shoulders up, and breathing out. So in your time, breathing in,
and breathing out. And you can breathe out through your nose or your mouth. And then release. And then lift and roll your shoulders again. And come back to making those diamond fists again, but with your left hand. You can have your thumb inside or out. Just try perhaps inside. And then place the left fist in your right hand and wrap your right fingers around and just press together. So this, you'll feel this in your upper chest and arm strength, and then just release. Shake your hands out. And then make a fist with your right hand and press that fist into your left palm. Wrap your left hand round and press together. It increases strength here, it increases under the arms. And then just release. Lift and roll your shoulders. So the next one is a very gentle twist, samana at the navel level. It is how we process food on a physical level, but emotionally it's how we transform what happens to us and how we manage to process this in our minds. So breathing in, sitting up, and breathing out, take the left hand to the right thigh and bring the right hand behind you, just connecting and looking over the right shoulder. And just a breath in and out here. Come back to the centre, just lengthen the body, and then we're going to take the right hand to the left hand behind. Breathe in, lengthen the body, and breathe out, turn to look over the left shoulder. And then come back. Just hands on the thighs, lead with the chest, and just slightly come forward for a couple of breaths. And then coming up, and we drop attention to the perineum, the apana vayu, and this is weird, very something we don't often do. Just tense the perineum, you might tense your bottom and then just release. Tense and release. It's toning your pelvic floor and it's connecting into the peristalsis movement, the digestive system, and then just release. And then we come to Vyana Vayu, which is on all fours. So come to release that sitting, quite nice to get off the seated part of our toes. Come to all fours. Hands shoulder width apart, hips, knees hip width apart. And here we're going to make circles with our shoulders and hips. So as you circle one way, you're lifting up and then dropping. So we're kind of swirling the energy around the torso. And then very gently reverse your circle. And then come to standstill on all fours. Then we're going to come to standing, So Sue, come to whoever you want to, but we're going to come normally via downward dog. So tucking the toes under, perineum slightly up or engaged, lower abdominal muscles slightly towards the spine, so you're just subtly engaging, about 10% of your capacity. And then with your knees bent, lift your knees, extend your back first, tummy in, then extend your legs. Walk the dog by bending one knee, extending the other heel, and then doing it the other way around. Your elbows are in towards one another to protect your shoulders. Thumb and second finger engage on the floor. Both legs extend. Really feel your tummy tucking in and look towards your hands and then look back towards your feet to further engage your lower abdominal muscles. And then walk your feet towards your hands towards your feet. And then just soften your knees and then come to roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing.
We're going to come into Tadasana, lift and roll the shoulders. And the invitation here is to feel all 5 vayus. So starting this time at the base, the apana, just sense the perineum, the lower abdominal energy. Move your attention inside your spine, so almost the centre of your body, to the area between the navel and the perineum, sacral chakra. Then to the navel, then to the heart, then to the throat, then to the third eye, and then to the top of the head. And then release the hands. We're going to come into salute to the sun, but modified. So come to the top of the mats, and this connects back to the base energy, the apana energy, and we'll be working through. Hands together at the heart center, soften the knees and circle the arms up, stretch up, palms together. Come through the center, hands onto the shins, half lift. Breathing out, bend in, half lift. And this time, soften the knees as you breathe out, to hands to the ground. Step back with your right foot. Stretch the right leg and right heel out, right knee to the ground. Slide your left foot back. Feet can be tucked under or flat. Dipping the back, looking up. If that doesn't suit your neck, look on the mat. And breathing out, rounding chin to chest. And then dipping the back again. And rounding chin to chest. And then come to lying on the mat. Come to the elbows first. And really stretch your hands out in front of you, connecting the body to the floor. You can tap your tops of your feet on the floor, and then just heels out, wobble the bottom from side to side. And then bend the knees, soles of the feet up. You might like to have your knees slightly wider here. And circle the ankles in one direction. And then circle the ankles in the other direction. And then swaying the feet from side to side. And then you lower the feet. Perhaps bring the knees back in to be comfortable. Slide your hands back to Sphinx position, so that you're on your elbows and you're looking down at the floor. And then you can either press down on your elbows to come to
your knees, hands and knees, and then we'll come to downward dog. We're going to ultimately come up to standing, or you can roll to the side, bring your knees in, and then come onto your hands and knees. If you want a softer getting up option, then come to standing however you want to, but then perhaps come to downward dog. And then walk your feet to your hands to your feet. Press your hands on your shins, half lift. Breathing out, soften in. Hands on the shins, half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. And soften the knees, press the feet down, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing.
And then stretch the hands up, press the feet down, and then just circle the wrists down.
And we're going to come to the left side.
Lift and roll the shoulders, clasp the hands behind your back, opening the shoulders. Release the hands and slide the hands down the backs of the legs.
All the way to the floor. Connect your hands to the floor and step back with your left foot. Extend your left leg, heel up, left knee to the ground. Slide back your right leg. And this time come via up dog with the knees on the ground
To come to lying once more.
and hands stretch out in front of you. And just slightly roll to the left and slightly roll to the right. And again, slightly roll to the left and slightly roll to the right. And come to the centre and move your hands both to the right, stretching your left side. And then walk the hands, moving them to the left, stretching your right side. You might roll here too. And then coming back, sliding the hands back so that you'll come onto your elbows and sphinx. Just breathing in and out as you look at the floor. And then very gently either roll to the side or come to bring your hands to your either side of your chest, elbows in, pressing down, coming up to kneeling. And this time, having your knees wide apart, big toes together-ish, and come to stretching out in child's pose, extended child's pose. And then very, very gently sliding the hands back to the knees, come to tabletop again. Look over your right shoulder, and your hips might sway to the left. Come to the centre and look over the left shoulder, and your hips might sway to the right. Come to the centre, and then we're going to tuck the toes, tummy in, and we're going to come to standing, however that works for you, but try it downward dog, normally. And then again, we're going to walk the hands to the feet to the hands. Hands onto the shins, half lift. Breathing out, come in. Hands onto the shins, half lift. And stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, soften the knees, press the feet into the ground, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Lift, roll the shoulders.
And then just very gently come to raise the hands up, hold the thumbs,
and just swaying palm from side to side. And come to lower the hands. And we lift and roll shoulders. And then I am following this plan. We're going to move on from Apana, we'll go on to the next one, which is Vyana. But from still on Apana, because it's grounding energy, just step forward with your right foot, left foot behind, or out at 45 degrees. Lift and roll the shoulders. So the warrior pose is all about strength and, again, your core. As you breathe in, soften the front right knee and bring your hands to cactus arms. And breathing out, lower the arms, straighten the legs. And then breathing in, raising the arms up, looking ahead. You put the weight onto the back foot. You feel that you can adjust your right foot out if you need to. And breathing out, lower. Full warrior steps ahead a lot, and your thigh will be parallel to the ground, but that's quite strong. And then just in your own style, your own time, breathing in. You can look forward or up, and breathing out, lower. Lift and roll the shoulders. Step the right leg back, and then lifting and rolling the shoulders again, stepping the left leg forward. Again, how far you step forward is up to you. You can always put the left leg out to the side to give you greater stability, and the right foot is out a little bit to support your weight. Breathing in, soften the front left knee, cactus arms, and breathing out, lower. Breathing in, soften the left knee, lifting up, looking ahead, and lower. And then breathing in, soften the front knee, lifting up, option to look up, but only if that works for your neck, and breathing out, lower. Step the left leg back. Come to a wider stance with your feet slightly out, hands on the knees, on the thighs. I can't get my anatomy right this morning. Hands on the thighs. Bring in the left shoulder towards the centre, release, relaxing the head. Come to the centre and go to the other side. Right shoulder in, and once more to each side. And then soften the knees, and then slightly heel toe the feet in to be giving weight and support to then roll up gradually, vertebra by vertebra, and lift and roll the shoulders. So we come from the next energy, which is Vyana, which is all-encompassing. We haven't done this for a while. It's a variation of eagle pose. So there are two bits to eagle. The full eagle is, I think, quite tricky. Modified eagle is not so bad at all. So lift the hands up and cross over. It doesn't matter which arm you cross under, and palms together. If you can't manage that, backs and palms together. And then lift the elbows up and away from you and look through the diamond. And you'll really feel this in your upper back. You can stay like this, or you'll find that one leg naturally crosses over the other. And keeping your feet on the ground, you subtly bend your knees. And if you're super balanced, you can take the crossed over leg off the floor. But I'm not that super balanced. So it's called eagle pose, and you can certainly feel the upper knee benefits, and also if you're managing to balance, you've got other benefits too. And then unravel everything, just cross, loosen out, And then, of course, we're going to come, if you can remember which arm it was, cross over the other way, elbows away, lift up and look through the diamond. And then option to cross the leg over. You can either keep the leg or the toes on the floor, slightly bend in, or you can lift the leg off the floor and just curl it round. I can do it for a nanosecond. And then just very gently unravel and just let your hands shake out. Just open your arms and hug, coming forward and just slightly going from side to side. And then open the arms and hug the other way. Subtly coming forward and just going from side to side. And then gently lift and roll the shoulders. And hands on the waist. We're moving into Samana energy. Just the next one along at the navel. Soften the knees, bottom away from you. This is engaging your abdominal core at the Samana level. And then gently come up, hands together. And then we're going to come to a seated position on this Samana energy. Legs out if that doesn't suit you to sit cross-legged. And just slightly turn to the right. Come to the centre and slightly turn to the left. And then come to the centre. We're going to do a few rounds of Kapalabhati. It's contraindicated if you have high blood pressure or you're pregnant. But this is mouth closed. You're only focusing on your out breath, hands on your knees, and focusing on the out breath brings your tummy in. So it connects to the Samana energy. So it's mouth closed, only focus on your out breath. It's this one. And then think about coming to a close. Breathing in, hold the breath, and then breathing out. Come to lie on the mat, to rest at this halfway point, knees up to the ceiling, and palms, either palms down or resting on the abdomen. And just notice the breath coming in through the nose. Notice your abdomen rising slightly under the hands. You can optionally, as Sue's already leading this, maybe breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth for a few breaths. And when you come to the end of your next breath, Bring one knee up and bring the other knee up, and hugging the knees into the chest. Either rock from side to side, or hug the knees in and just let the knees drift away to your own breath pattern, or do accommodations of both. And then very gently bring the feet to the ground. And we're going to roll over to come back to a seated position once more. But take your time to come up to a seated position. And we move on to the next energy, which is the prana vayu, all pervading energy. And this one is pulling an imaginary bow. So we go to the left first. Make your left arm out. You're pulling a bow with your right, elbow up, and you're almost slightly turning, I think, to your left. And then just release. Just turn your head from side to side. And then pull the bow the other way. So you're slightly turning to your right, left elbow up, and pulling the bow with your left elbow coming back, your right arm out. Very much for focus. You can tell this is all warrior based, and then just released. And once more, just roll the fists one way, and then rolling your fists in the opposite direction. And then, following this sequence, we come to child's pose on the prana vayu. It focuses the breath in the back. So coming to however works for you for child's, knees apart, maybe feet together, maybe hands stretched out in front of you, maybe hands one on top of the other, or maybe the classic child, you can have a bolster under your forehead and just opening out with your palms upwards. So there will be a position in there that suits you. And notice that the breath here comes into the back. The lower back is stretched as well, so that's helpful for lower back issues. Back of the neck is given space, and coming forward is calming for the nervous system. Brings blood to the head, so if ever you have a headache and you've got the time, a variation of child's pose is quite helpful. Stop the blood and then leaving the head, just encouraging it to be there. And then very gently come to out of child's pose. And we're going to be coming onto our back, so take your bolster. And we're going to rest the hips on the bolster. To come into a variation of shoulder stand. So something under the hips is quite helpful to support your lower back as your legs go up. And you might notice that gravity makes the legs just subtly sway, almost in a little circle. You can opt to stay still here, or you can opt for variations if you want to distract your mind. And one variation is to have one leg forward and one leg back, extending the heel of the leg maybe coming back. You can play with that. And then just almost like scissors going the other way. You can cross one ankle over the other. And stay there, or you can reverse the cross. You can have your legs open in a V, possibly with your heels extended, and just feel the stretch of your inner legs. Or you can just come back to legs up and not doing anything at all. Classic shoulder stand can put quite a lot of pressure at the top of the body and on the head. This is a much softer version, and it takes a lot of that pressure away. So inversions, we talked about hormonal balance at the beginning of the class, and inversions are supposed to be a complete metabolic balancer, or hormonal balancer. And to get the full benefit, you would probably want to stay here for around 10, 15, even 20 minutes. You can sometimes just circle again your feet in one way, maybe another way. And the legs up also is also like a mindful exercise, because it's hard to carry your thoughts and stresses when you're upside down. Interestingly, some people worry about being upside down and putting pressure on the eyes, but my understanding is that it's actually very helpful. It's like a self-regulation that's going on, and so it becomes quite soothing for the eyes. There's no stress building up in the head. Yeah. And you can choose for the last couple of minutes to have your legs up, or if you've had enough of that, then you can come to bend your knees into your chest, and then bring your feet gradually to the floor. And you can opt to stay here. It's quite a nice opening, like a semi, almost bridge with your knees bent, feet on the ground. Or if you would like to spend last few breaths in Shavasana, resting, then take the bolster out from underneath you and come just to resting on the floor for a few breaths. And just bring your attention to your feet, relax the feet. Attention to the tops of the feet, the soles, the heels, the shins, calves and knees, relax. The tops of the thighs, underneath the thighs, the hips, pelvis, relax. Heavy on the floor and connecting to gravity. The lower abdomen, upper abdomen, chest, heart, across to the shoulders and opening across the shoulders, relaxing the shoulders on the ground. Down the upper arms to the elbows, forearms, the wrists, palms and backs of the hands down to the fingers, the thumbs, second fingers, third, fourth, little fingers, and the space beyond the fingers. Come to bring your focus to the lower back and moving along the spine through the lower vertebra, the lower back to the mid-back, moving towards between the shoulder blades to the upper back, the back of the neck, the back of the head, the ears, the space between the ears, top of the head, across the head to the forehead, and smoothing out over the eyebrows. The eyes rest and relax downwards. Just tracing across the cheekbones and coming down to the jaw. Relax the jaw and the throat. And then come to the chin and move to the lower mouth, lower lips, the teeth, palate, upper lip, and move up to the base of the nostril, breathing in through the base of the nostril to the point in the centre of the head. And as you breathe out, put anything that's not working or serving you today into your out breath. And a couple of breaths in your own time, breathing into a point in the centre of the head, and the out breath goes down through the body, taking with it anything it doesn't need or want today, leaving through the soles of the feet. And then have a thought for the day. It can be for yourself, it can be for someone else. Mentally connect to that thought a couple of times. And let the thought drift away. The intention for the day has been set. And now bring someone to mind. You wish them well, want to send love to, or offer protection. And mentally put that person in a pink bubble, almost from your heart to them in the mental pink bubble. And then just send them love and let them float off in that bubble, knowing that your wish for them has been received. And then come to be aware of where you're lying on the floor, the body connecting with points of the floor, the earth, texture of the clothes on the skin, the sounds both inside and outside where you are. And then come to, if you're lying flat, come to bend your knees, remove your support if you're still on it, hugging the knees into the chest once more, just rolling from side to side, just feeling the weight of the floor against the base of the skull. And then very gently and slowly roll to the side, perhaps to the right away from your heart, but that's a good enough space. And then come in your own time to a gentle seated position. And come to bring your hands to your heart. And now take a bow for yourself for the day ahead.